chest was going to cave. The tears that fell left a stain. The world we know's enslaved. Now I know it's hard to hear. You better heed the words I say. If we don't act as one, you'll see the false prophets will betray.
Welcome to Resurrect the Republic. Resurrect the Republic on RBN. Good morning, America, and today we have a special treat for you guys and a tribute to Mr. Anthony J. Hilder, who is going to be joining us very soon, sometime within the next week. I spoke to him for several hours the other day, and everyone knows he's the one that released the 67 Myron Fagan recordings, and he's done a lot of wonderful films. Wonderful filmmaker, Anthony J. Hilder. So anyway, today, Bruce, are you with me? How you doing there, buddy?
Yes, sir. How you doing? Good morning, y'all.
Wow, there he is.
I had this thing on mute, so he didn't hear me talk to my customers.
That's all right, man. That's okay. I just was introducing our recordings we're going to be sharing with our audience today, which are the Myron Fagan Illuminati recordings. We're going to be doing this every so often. It led me into a lot of interesting research. Mr. Myron Fagan, who was a close personal friend of Mr. Hilder. I understand that you have some original recordings, and would you like to say a few words about Mr. Fagan before we continue?
Well, first, yeah, if there's 60-something recordings out there your friend of Myron Fagan, your friend has, and he's listening, we would like to put them on Dirty Uncle Sam. I'm sure he didn't copyright none of them, and if he did, I'm sure we can get permission and add them to the 6 we already have and they're on resurrecttherepublic.com. Likewise, you can click on the audio and listen to these. You can download them on your computer, 1 through 6, and if you put them in a different order numerically, like I think it's like 2, 4, 5, or something like that, on each CD, you can do it on 2 CDs instead of 3.
Oh, cool.
You just have to do 1, 2, 3 on one and 4, 5, 6 on another. You got to kind of mix the numbers up, but if you do, you can get them both on all of that on 2. And I should send you some of the Myron Fagans I have on CD, and maybe you can download them somewhere where they can just do it on a 2 CD download.
Sure.
I have to figure out which order. 'Cause I've got cases of them. I used to give them away at the flea markets and fair and everywhere I could go.
Yeah.
Bike Week, Daytona, I gave away cases of them there too.
Yeah, good stuff.
The biker group, I gave them a whole case of Ziploc bags with like 4 different people, like Myron Fagan was one of them, Dr. John Coleman, Barry Vinson, and all of them. And then I had some videos to go with it, like a couple of good videos. I can't remember what they were. And I put like the wake-up packets. And I had huge cardboard boxes that potatoes come in, full of these wake-up packets.
Yeah, man.
Potato boxes, and we just give them out to the bike groups in Daytona, a whole box or half a box.
And I tell you, Bruce has been waking up the public for a very, very long time.
Well, about Myron Fagan, back to him. My C.F.R, my martial art instructor, he was trained by Ted Wong, who was Bruce Lee's best friend. His mom was the head of the women's club in Cocoa Beach, and she died. She was like 102. But back in the 60s, when Myron Fagan made when the Vietnam War was going on, Mr. Fagan made 333 albums of trying to get us out of the Vietnam War because of the Illuminati and the New World Order, and how they're using our soldiers and our boys for police action that we have no right there and so forth. Anyway, he exposes the New World Order to try to get us out of Vietnam. But he was assassinated supposedly shortly thereafter, around the year 1967 or somewhere in there. And my Sifu had these 333 albums, and thanks to him, we downloaded them, and all 6 of these tracks come from one half of a 33 album, because you have side A and you have side B on each of the albums. So all 6 of these tracks are the downloads of 333 albums.
Wow, this is the real deal. So you guys check it out at resurrecttherepublic.com or dirtyunclesam.com. We're going to be also posting them on the Resurrect Republic radio show RBN Facebook page, as well as my personal page. We're going to get back to using that Facebook page a little bit more for you guys to come to. I kind of I got away from that for a while because I was having trouble with Facebook, but I think it's up and running again. We've had a horrible time getting censored. YouTube, my channel that all of my archives was going on to for the longest time, all of my subscribers I've been locked out of for posting the truth. There was a Christian beheading where they forced him to convert to Allah and then killed him anyway, some extremists. It was factual reporting, not sensationalistic. It was factual, and apparently they didn't like that. They said any further violations, they would suspend me. So, of course, what they did was they poured over my account, went back to last year, and found, now this is how sensationalistic I am. It's like I post this thing every week now. They went back to last year and found another one that I posted, and they hit me on that one and then suspended me. And that was the one that I had all of my archives set up for the show. And, well, anyway, make a long story short, we have a kind of small operation. I don't have a bunch of interns. I have a few that are coming on. Hopefully we'll be able to get some things uploaded. We've already converted over to Vimeo for you guys that are interested in our videos. If you go to my Facebook account or patriotfb.com, where I'm going to be uploading videos to both patriotfb.com and my Thomas Robert Lacovara-Stewart on Facebook. You can go to my page on Facebook and you can see the videos that we post. We post just about every day or every other day, current events, and news stories that are popping out and how they relate to your unlawful jurisdiction that we're trying to get the word out and having some success at doing, I might add. So anyway, Myron Fagan really exposed the C.F.R, Council on Foreign Relations, for what it was, for what it is. We heard Hillary Clinton in a video on YouTube. Oh, how absolutely sick it made me when she didn't realize, I guess, that it was going to hit the mainstream. She said, well, when I want to get my marching orders, we just go down the street to C.F.R. That's where she gets her marching orders. If that goes to tell you where the allegiances lie, and more people died around that Clinton duo than I think just about any other presidential or high-level executive conspiracy. A lot of people died from J.F.K. surrounding that entire J.F.K. Assassination conspiracy. Even more people have died surrounding the Clinton affairs, Whitewater, drug running in and out of Arkansas. We all know about. It's incredible the level of corruption that just continues to permeate D.C. And after all these scandals, it amazes the absolute bejesus out of me that any of these people are even remotely can come near a campaign and people get behind them. It just shows you the massive psychological programming that's taking place with television. So when we get back, you will be hearing from Mr. Myron Fagan on Resurrect the Republic.
Rising to the challenge is the first step that you take. Are you a free spirit or a slave? Are the institutions that have molded our...
World-renowned physician and stem cell expert Dr. David Steenblock, D.O., and his research staff have spent years developing all-natural formulations that support the body's own stem cell production and mobilization system. An everyday stem cell supplement, creating the birth of Stemgevity. Stemgevity stem cell mobilization formula is for use by men, women, and children of all ages to support your body's stem cell system naturally, quickly, and safely. Stemgevity helps support your heart and circulatory system, bones and joints, liver, skin, brain, and much more. Order your bottle now at stemgevity.com today. That's STEMGEVITY. Stemgevity.com. Or call now toll-free, 800-300-1063. Buy 2 bottles and receive a 3rd bottle free by mentioning RBN. Anyone who wants to get healthy needs Stemgevity. Call 800-300-1063 today.
Herbal Healer Academy presents its spring specials. All sizes of our 500 parts per million colloidal silver are on sale, along with products to help you lose weight, like apple cider vinegar, Hoodia, Metabolic Complex, and Pro Metabolic. That's not all. Anti-parasite intestinal freedom, Wormwood Plus Complex, Stevia liquid sweetener, and the super enzymes are on sale. Visit herbalhealer.com to order yours. Request our free 128-page catalog. Healing the world with nature, one person at a time. herbalhealer.com.
Get the hardest-hitting rebel newspaper of them all by mail anywhere in the CSA or U.S. For the next 12 issues, send $25 cash, check, or money order to T.F.F. P.O. Box 385, Silver Hill, Alabama 36576.
The IRS is a private corporation, not a government agency. Income tax is collected by voluntary compliance. To learn to unvolunteer or discontinue volunteering into the IRS, visit escapeharassment.com and immediately implement Strategy 1. The process must be repeated each and every time. Paper, letter, envelope, presentment, etc. Always and forever. Failure equates to acceptance, subsequent resultant contract, and you pay or go to jail by your own consent and agreement contract. Avoid recontracting. Visit escapeharassment.com and implement Strategy 1 immediately. Bar lawyers and accountants won't help you. Why wait? Get Strategy 1 and immediately implement it to divorce the IRS today and forever. That's escapeharassment.com, Strategy 1, to be free from the IRS. escapeharassment.com.
Welcome back to Resurrect the Republic. Resurrect the Republic, where the Illuminati and the New World Order just love to mess with us, but that's okay. Mr. Myron Fagan.
The question of how and why the United Nations is the crux of the great conspiracy to destroy the sovereignty of the United States and the enslavement of the American people within a UN one-world dictatorship is a complete and unknown mystery to the vast majority of the American people. The reason for this unawareness of the frightening danger to our country and to the entire free world is simple. The masterminds behind this great conspiracy have absolute control of all of our mass communications media, especially television, the radio, the press, and Hollywood. We all know that our State Department, the Pentagon, and the White House have brazenly proclaimed that they have the right and the power to manage the news, to tell us not the truth, but what they want us to believe. They have seized that power on orders from their masters of the great conspiracy. And the objective is to brainwash the people into accepting the phony peace bait to transform the United States into an enslaved unit of the United Nations one-world government. First of all, bear in mind that the so-called UN police action in Korea, fought by the United States, in which 150,000 of our sons were murdered and maimed, was part of the plot, just as the undeclared by Congress war in Vietnam, in which our sons are dying, is part of the plot. just as the plot against Rhodesia in South Africa, in which our sons will be dying, is part of the UN plot. However, the vitally important thing for all Americans, all you mothers of the boys who died in Korea and are now dying in Vietnam, to know is that our so-called leaders in Washington, whom we elected to safeguard our nation and our Constitution, are the betrayers, and that behind them are a comparatively small group of men whose sole objective is to enslave the whole world of humanity in their satanic plot of one world government. Now, in order to give you a very clear picture of this satanic plot, I will go back to its beginning, clear back in the middle of the 18th century, and name the men who put that plot into action, and then bring you down to the present, today's status of that plot. Now, as a matter of further intelligence, a term used by the FBI, let me clarify the meaning of the expression, he is a liberal. The enemy, meaning the one-word conspirators, have seized upon that word liberal as a cover-up for their activities. It sounds so innocent and so humanitarian to be liberal. Well, make sure that the person who calls himself a liberal or is described as a liberal is not in truth a red. Now then, this satanic plot was launched back in the 1760s when it first came into existence under the name of the Illuminati. This Illuminati was organized by one Adam Weishaupt, born a Jew, who was converted to Catholicism and became a Catholic priest, and then, at the behest of the then newly organized House of Rothschild, defected and organized the Illuminati. Naturally, the Rothschilds financed that operation. And every war since then, beginning with the French Revolution, has been promoted by the Illuminati, operating under various names and guises. I say under various names and guises because after the Illuminati was exposed and became too notorious, Weishaupt and his co-conspirators began to operate under various other names. In the United States, immediately after World War I, they set up what they called the Council on Foreign Relations, commonly referred to as the C.F.R. And this C.F.R. is actually the Illuminati in the United States. And its hierarchy, the masterminds in control of the C.F.R., to a very great extent, are the descendants of the original Illuminati conspirators. But, to conceal that fact, most of them changed their original family names to American-sounding names. For example, the true name of the Dillons, Clarence and Douglas Dillon, once Secretary of the U.S. Treasury Department, is Lepowski. I'll come back to all this later. There is a similar establishment of the Illuminati in England, operating under the name of the British Institute of International Affairs. There are similar secret Illuminati organizations in France, Germany, and other nations operating under different names. And all these organizations, including the C.F.R., continuously set up numerous subsidiary or front organizations that are infiltrated into every phase of the various nations' affairs. But at all times, the operations of these organizations were and are masterminded and controlled by the internationalist bankers, who in turn were and are controlled by the Rothschilds. The details of how they accomplished the setting up of the C.F.R. in the United States, as also in the other nations, are far too voluminous to be described in this dissertation. But you can find it complete in News Bulletin number 122, entitled UN is Spawn of the Illuminati, and News Bulletin number 123, entitled C.F.R. Completely Unmasked as Illuminati. Both are published by the Cinema Educational Guild Post Office Box 46205, Hollywood, California. You can get them for 50 cents per copy by writing to that address. Those news bulletins reveal the names of the original founders of the Illuminati and the Americanized names of their descendants in the present C.F.R. Now I'll go back to the activities of the original Illuminati conspirators. As revealed in News Bulletin number 122, one branch of the Rothschild family had financed Napoleon. Another branch of the Rothschilds, both branches the real masterminds of the Illuminati, financed Britain, Germany, and the other nations in the Napoleonic Wars. Immediately after the Napoleonic Wars, the Illuminati assumed that all the nations were so destitute and so weary of wars that they'd be glad for any solution. So the Rothschild stooges set up what they called the Congress in Vienna, and at that meeting they tried to create the first League of Nations, their first attempted one-world government, on the theory that all the crowned heads of the European governments were so deeply in debt to them that they would, willingly or unwillingly, serve as their stooges. But the Tsar of Russia caught the stench of the plot and completely torpedoed it. The enraged Nathan Rothschild, then the head of that dynasty, vowed that
Tom, I just closed it. Hang on.
normally using the word peace on earth as his bait, exactly as that same bait, peace, was used by the 1945 conspirators.
Well, technical difficulties, no big deal. We'll be back after a few words from our sponsors with more Myron Fagan. Sorry about that little blip. No big deal. We'll be right back.
The rhetoric they speak is all the same. The men behind the curtain and the illusion they create pull the puppet strings and seal our fate.
World-renowned physician and stem cell expert Dr. David Steenblock, D.O., and his research staff have spent years developing all-natural formulations that support the body's own stem cell production and mobilization system. An everyday stem cell supplement, creating the birth of Stemgevity. Stemgevity stem cell mobilization formula is for use by men, women, and children of all ages to support your body's stem cell system naturally, quickly, and safely. Stemgevity helps support your heart and circulatory system, bones and joints, liver, skin, brain, and much more. Order your bottle now at stemgevity.com today. That's STEMGEVITY, stemgevity.com. Or call now toll-free, 800-300-1063. Buy 2 bottles and receive a 3rd bottle free by mentioning RBN. Anyone who wants to get healthy needs Stemgevity. Call 800-300-1063 today.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
The IRS is a private corporation, not a government agency. Income tax is collected by voluntary compliance. To learn to unvolunteer or discontinue volunteering into the IRS, visit escapeharassment.com and immediately implement Strategy 1. The process must be repeated each and every time. Paper, letter, envelope, presentment, etc. Always and forever. Failure equates to acceptance, subsequent resultant contract, and you pay or go to jail by your own consent and agreement contract. Avoid recontracting. Visit escapeharassment.com and implement Strategy 1 immediately. Bar lawyers and accountants won't help you. Why wait? Get Strategy 1 and immediately implement it to divorce the IRS today and forever. That's escapeharassment.com, Strategy 1, to be free from the IRS. escapeharassment.com.
This is Dr. Robert Rowan, here to give you an important message regarding stem cell treatment. World-renowned physician, stem cell expert, and friend Dr. David Steenblock has performed over 8,000 stem cell treatments since 2001. Bone marrow stem cells are completely legal to do here in the USA. The bone marrow stem cell treatment is not only fast, done in less than 2 to 3 hours, but is relatively pain-free and has little to no recovery time. Dr. David Steenblock and his office are able to help and treat patients who suffer from cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, stroke, macular degeneration, arthritis, Parkinson's disease, congestive heart failure, and more. Personally using their services for my knee and seeing great improvement, Dr. David Steenblock is highly recommended by me. Go to stemcellmd.org or call 800-300-1063 to find out more. Again, stemcellmd.org or call 800-300-1063 today to receive more information.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Push too far, we will strike like a snake coiled up in the night. Watch your step.
Welcome back to Resurrect the Republic. Resurrect the Republic on RBN, CNN, PatriotFB.com. We're here today with the Myron Fagan recording. Please roll.
Bear in mind that the Illuminati was not set up to operate on a short-range basis. Normally, a conspirator of any type enters into a conspiracy with the expectation of achieving his objective during his own lifetime. But that was not the case with the Illuminati. True, they hoped to accomplish their objective during their lifetime. But, paraphrasing The Show Must Go On, the Illuminati operates on the very long-range basis. Whether it will take scores of years or even centuries, they have dedicated their descendants to keep the plot boiling until they hope the conspiracy is achieved. Now let's go back to the birth of the Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit-trained professor of canon law, teaching in Ingolstadt University when he defected from Christianity to embrace the Luciferian conspiracy. It was in 1770 that the professional moneylenders, the then recently organized House of Rothschild, retained him to revise and modernize the age-old protocols of Zionism, which from the outset was designed to give the synagogue of Satan, so named by Jesus Christ, ultimate world domination, so they could impose the Luciferian ideology upon what would remain of the human race after the final social cataclysm by use of satanic despotism. Weishaupt completed his task May 1st, 1776. Now you know why May 1 is the great day with all communist nations to this very day. That was the day, May 1, 1776, that Weishaupt completed his plan and officially organized the Illuminati to put the plan into execution. That plan required the destruction of all existing governments and religions. That objective was to be reached by dividing the masses of people whom he, Weishaupt, termed Goyim, or human cattle, into opposing camps in ever-increasing numbers on political, social, economic, and other issues. the very conditions we have in our country today, the opposing sides were then to be armed and incidents provided which would cause them to fight and weaken themselves and gradually destroy national governments and religious institutions. Again, I say, the very conditions in the world today. And at this point, let me stress a prime feature of the Illuminati plan. When and if their blueprint for world control, the protocols of the elders of Zion, is discovered and exposed, they would wipe all the Jews off the face of the earth in order to divert suspicions from themselves. If you think this is far-fetched, bear in mind that they permitted Hitler, a liberal socialist himself, who was financed by Krupp, Kennedy, the Warburgs, and the Rothschilds, to incinerate 600,000 Jews. Now, just why did the conspirators choose the word Illuminati for their satanic organization? Weishaupt himself said that the word is derived from Lucifer and means holders of the light, using the lie that his objective was to bring about a one-world government to enable those with mental ability to govern the world and prevent all wars in the future. In short, using the word peace on earth as his bait, exactly as that same bait, peace, was used by the 1945 conspirators to force the United Nations on us. Weishaupt, financed, I repeat, by the Rothschilds, recruited some 2,000 paid followers. These included the most intelligent men in the fields of arts and letters, education, the sciences, finance, and industry. He then established lodges of the Grand Orient, Masonic lodges, to be their secret headquarters. And I again repeat that in all of this, he was acting under orders from the House of Rothschild. The main features of the Weishaupt plan of operation required his Illuminati to do the following things to help them to accomplish their purpose. Number one, use monetary and sex bribery to obtain control of men already in high places in the various levels of all governments and other fields of endeavor. Once influential persons had fallen for the lies, deceits, and temptations of the Illuminati, they were to be held in bondage by application of political and other forms of blackmail, threats of financial ruin, public exposure and physical harm, even death, to themselves and loved members of their families. Do you realize how many present top officials in our federal government in Washington are controlled in just that way by the C.F.R.? Do you realize how many homosexuals in our State Department, the Pentagon, all federal agencies, even in the White House, are controlled that way? Number two, Illuminati and the faculties of colleges and universities were to cultivate students possessing exceptional mental ability, belonging to well-bred families with international leanings, and recommend them for special training in internationalism. Such training was to be provided by granting scholarships to those selected by the Illuminists. That gives you an idea what a Rhodes Scholarship means. It means indoctrination into accepting the idea that only a one-world government can put an end to recurring wars and strife. That's how the United Nations was sold to the American people. One of the most notable Rhodes Scholars we have in our country is Senator William J. Fulbright, sometimes referred to as Half-Bright. His entire voting record spells Illuminati. All such scholars were to be first persuaded and then convinced that men of special talent and brains have the right to rule those less gifted, on the ground that the masses don't know what is best for them physically, mentally, and spiritually. In addition to the Rhodes and similar scholarships, today there are 3 special Illuminati schools located in Gordonstown in Scotland, Salem in Germany, and Anavrita in Greece. These 3 are known ones, but there are others that are kept undercover. Prince Philip, the husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth, was educated at Gordonstown at the instigation of Lord Louis Mountbatten, his uncle, a Rothschild relative, who became Britain's admiral of the fleet after World War II ended. Number 3, all influential people trapped into coming under the control of the Illuminati, plus the students who had been specially educated and trained, were to be used as agents and placed behind the scenes of all governments as experts and specialists, so they would advise the top executives to adopt policies which would, in the long run, serve the secret plans of the Illuminati one-world conspiracy and bring about the destruction of the governments and religions they were elected or appointed to serve. Do you know how many such men operate in our government at this very time? Rust, McNamara, Hubert Humphrey, Fulbright, Kuchel, and go on and on and on. Number 4, perhaps the most vital directive in White House plan was to obtain absolute control of the press, at that time the only mass communications media, to distribute information to the public, so that all news and information could be slanted, so that the masses could be convinced that a one-world government is the only solution to our many and varied problems. Now do you know who owns and controls our mass communications media? I'll tell you, practically all the movie lots in Hollywood is owned by the Lehmans, Kuhn, Loeb and Company, Goldman Sachs, and other internationalist bankers. All the national radio and TV channels in the nation are owned and controlled by those same internationalist bankers.
We'll be back after a few words from our sponsors, Resurrect the Republic, where you will find the truth.
Do you love America? Do you support the right to bear arms? Do you have an opinion on the current immigration issue? Do you believe in the dollar? You have a voice. You have an opinion. Let it be heard. Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com right now and make your voice count. Do you like your rights taken away for the so-called sake of public safety? Do you want to repeal Obamacare? Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com today and fight back. All you have to do is fill out a short survey and you're done. Simple, easy, fast. For your time, you get entered to win free gold and silver. That's right. Get gold and silver free by filling out this short survey that enters you to win. AmericanFreedomSurvey.com. Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com today. That's AmericanFreedomSurvey.com.
It's time to utilize your Second Amendment right. No better way than at Knob Creek Gun Range. Check out the large variety with over 3,000 guns in stock. Also, reloading supplies, ammunition, and low admission. Only $10 per person per day. $5 for children 12 and under. And 50% off for active duty and retired military with valid ID. If you don't own any firearms, no problem. You can rent one of ours. Knob Creek Gun Range supplies all your shooting needs. Go to knobcreekrange.com for more information. Range memberships are available. Visit knobcreekrange.com today.
Obamacare stories are worse every day. Medical treatment in Thailand can offer Americans some genuine options at fractional prices of U.S. treatment. Nursing homes, elder care, fractions of U.S. prices, and such superior options. The money you save could easily purchase a condo or two. Go to AsiaRunLikeHellGuide.com, a down and dirty guide on doing it once, doing it right, and on the cheap. AsiaRunLikeHellGuide.com. AsiaRunLikeHellGuide.com.
Herbal Healer Academy presents its spring specials. All sizes of our 500 parts per million colloidal silver are on sale, along with products to help you lose weight, like apple cider vinegar, Hoodia, Metabolic Complex, and Pro Metabolic. That's not all. Anti-Parasite Intestinal Freedom, Wormwood Plus Complex, Stevia Liquid Sweetener, and the Super Enzymes are on sale. Visit herbalhealer.com to order yours. Request our free 128-page catalog. Healing the world with nature, one person at a time. herbalhealer.com.
The IRS is a private corporation, not a government agency. Income tax is collected by voluntary compliance. To learn to unvolunteer or discontinue volunteering into the IRS, visit escapeharassment.com and immediately implement Strategy 1. The process must be repeated each and every time. Paper, letter, envelope, presentment, etc. Always and forever. Failure equates to acceptance, subsequent resultant contract, and you pay or go to jail by your own consent and agreement contract. Avoid recontracting. Visit escapeharassment.com and implement Strategy 1 immediately. Bar lawyers and accountants won't help you. Why wait? Get Strategy 1 and immediately implement it to divorce the IRS today and forever. That's escapeharassment.com, Strategy 1, to be free from the IRS. escapeharassment.com.
Hi, my name is David Merlin from takefromcaesar.us. Income is defined in the tax code. All property is a cost, including labor, according to statute. You're deprived of the provisions of Section 83 whenever you pay an income tax on your compensation. According to Section 83, only the excess over the amount paid is gross income. The government can't so much as provide an interpretation of Section 83 of its own. Get your paradigm shift and understanding today at takefromcaesar.us.
By the way, you guys, this music that you hear, if you like it, you can go to resurrectrepublic.com and check it out. It's Sons of Liberty. It's great stuff. You can just click on the Sons of Liberty tab. You can go to their Facebook page, go and buy their music. It's really great music, and it's Liberty rock and roll, I tell you. It's awesome. Anyway, we're going to close out with Myron Fagan. God bless all of you guys, and do me a favor, please, go to resurrectrepublic.com. Click on the PayPal link at the top right section of the page. We exist off of your donations. We have no corporate sponsors. We do not get paid for doing this. We do this from the donations from the public. Thank you all for donating who have. We do need a little bit of your support there. We're doing a fund drive for a media bus so that we can continue taking this on the road. Back to Myron Fagan. God bless you all.
All the national radio and TV channels in the nation are owned and controlled by those same internationalist bankers. The same is true of every chain of metropolitan newspapers and magazines, also of the press wire services, such as Associated Press, United Press International, etc. The supposed heads of all those media are merely the fronts for the international. What he really meant was that our C.F.R.-controlled government had the power to lie to and be believed by the brainwashed American people. And let's again go back to the first days of the Illuminati. Because Britain and France were the two greatest world powers in the late years of the 18th century, Weishaupt ordered the Illuminati to foment the colonial wars, including our Revolutionary War, to weaken the British Empire and organize the French Revolution to destroy the French Empire. He scheduled the French Revolution to start in 1789. However, in 1784, a true act of God placed the Bavarian government in possession of evidence which proved the existence of the Illuminati. And that evidence could have saved France if they, the French government, hadn't refused to believe it. Here is how that act of God happened. It was in 1874 that Weishaupt issued his orders for the French Revolution. A German writer named Zwack put it into book form. It contained the entire Illuminati story and Weishaupt's plans. A copy of this book was sent to the Illuminists in France, headed by Robespierre, whom Weishaupt had delegated to foment the French Revolution. The courier was struck and killed by lightning as he rode through Ralestan on his way from Frankfurt to Paris. The police found the subversive documents on his body and turned them over to the proper authorities. After careful study of the plot, the Bavarian government ordered the police to raid Weishaupt's newly organized lodges of the Grand Orient and the homes of his most influential associates. All additional evidence thus discovered convinced the authorities the documents were genuine copies of the conspiracy by which the Illuminati planned to use wars and revolutions to bring about the establishment of a one-world government, the powers of which they, headed by the Rothschilds, intended to usurp as soon as it was established. Exactly in line with the United Nations plot of today. In 1785, the Bavarian government outlawed the Illuminati and closed the lodges of the Grand Orient. In 1786, they published all the details of the conspiracy. The English title of that publication is The Original Writings of the Order and Sect of the Illuminati. Copies of the entire conspiracy were sent to all the heads of church and state in Europe. But the power of the Illuminati, which was actually the power of the Rothschilds, was so great that this warning was ignored. Nevertheless, Illuminati became a dirty word, and it went underground. At the same time, Weishaupt ordered Illuminists to infiltrate into the lodges of Blue Masonry and form their own secret societies within all secret societies. Only Masons who proved themselves internationalists and those whose conduct proved they had defected from God were initiated into the Illuminati. Thenceforth, the conspirators donned the cloak of philanthropy and humanitarianism to conceal their revolutionary and subversive activities. In order to infiltrate into Masonic lodges in Britain, Weishaupt invited John Robison over to Europe. Robison was a high-degree Mason in the Scottish Rite. He was a professor of natural philosophy at Edinburgh University and secretary of the Royal Society of Edinburgh. Robison did not fall for the lie that the objective of the Illuminati was to create a benevolent dictatorship, but he kept his reactions to himself so well that he was entrusted with a copy of Weishaupt's revised conspiracy for study and safekeeping. Anyway, because the heads of state and church in France were deluded into ignoring the warnings given them, the revolution broke out in 1789 as scheduled by Weishaupt. In order to alert other governments to their danger, in 1798 Robison published a book entitled Proof of a Conspiracy to Destroy All Governments and Religions. But his warnings were ignored, exactly as our American people have been ignoring all warnings about the United Nations and the Council on Foreign Relations, the C.F.R.
Very interesting.
Tom, I think the audio to this video is messed up.
I think we are experiencing technical difficulties with the recording, but you guys get the drift. I think you get the idea. Anyway, that was Myron Fagan, and we're going to be from time to time sharing his as well as a few other good recordings. If you go to my Facebook page at Tom Robert Lacovara-Stewart, there will be a few videos posted there, as well as at resurrecttherepublic.com. We've just released a few more. One entitled Breaking the Secret Constitution, What They Don't Want You to Know. And in that, it will give you in 5 minutes, if you want to be able to get this message of the 14th Amendment across to other people and be able to explain it to them in a short, concise way that they'll understand accurately, quickly. That is exactly the way to do it. When 11 states delegates were forced out at gunpoint in the ratification process, that created a secret constitution. It created a corporate jurisdiction, a corporate reconstruction. Now, all of these groups, Second Amendment, 10th Amendment, First Amendment, they're running roughshod over top of us with this 14th Amendment. It was supposed to be about slavery, but in today's day and age, everybody knows that all men, women, regardless of race, color, creed, there's nobody that is going to be enslaved on a plantation in this current era. So if what they really said about the 14th Amendment was true, then we don't need it anymore, right? But I urge everyone to go today. Go and look up the 14th Amendment. And I want you to read it, and I want you to tell me how the public debt has anything to do with our equality. And I want you to tell me how making us subject to the jurisdiction of this federal corporation makes us free or equal. It does not.
And Tom.
Yeah.
Have them read the Reconstruction Acts, which put the 14th Amendment in place with a martial law jurisdiction in 1868, and then read the Act to create a more efficient form of government before the Reconstruction Acts, and how they set up a different court system. It's all on ResurrectTheRepublic.com in the videos. It's all in click on Constitution of the Corporate under Documents, so we the sheep will show up each part of our government's been replaced. And the link
I'll post it fresh today.
Yeah, post it.
I'll post it fresh today, people, and we'll see you next time on Resurrect the Republic.
We the people.